Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicksTV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Tuesday, and on Tuesday, we talk marketing with TJ all the way from New York City. TJ is in the house helping us figure out how to get more customers, how to get more sales, how to advertise, all of these strategies to help us do business better. So you better do what I do. Get your pencil out and get ready to take some notes because TJ is always dropping nuggets on us. And we want to remember, we always think we're going to remember. We might want to document that. And so while she's talking, we're going to get this party started. I want you to know you can find TJ everywhere online. Here are some of the places: TerryJohnsonOnline.live. You can find her on the Biz Chicks Facebook page and in the Biz Chicks Facebook group.
Yes.
Okay, so TJ, what you got for us today?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another week of fabulous information on the Biz Chicks channel, because it is a channel.
Yes,
If you
it is.
didn't know. And on today is the day we talk about marketing, digital marketing strategies, and your website, SEO, branding, content marketing, all those things. That's a lot. But we try to cover it. That's why we do it every week. That's how we can cover all those subjects. So so today we're going to talk about content fatigue. And I want to tell you what that is. And it may be something that you are not familiar with, but the terminology, but you definitely know what I'm talking about when I explain it. So content fatigue is simply the fact that we are, that there's so much content everywhere. And this has been talked about, and I was doing some research. There were articles written on this about 2016, which is about five or 6 years, where everything before pandemic is like fuzzy for me. But I was just curious to see, because there's always people predicting what's happening in marketing, what's coming up online, this and that. So in the last few years, people were writing articles about content shock. Now, one of the people that I follow online, and he's a professor of marketing at Rutgers, and I've mentioned him a couple times. His name is Mark Schaefer. Now, he's not like a famous perfect. He's not like Seth Godin, but he's in that marketing area, and he's an actual professor. Like, he teaches at college and everything. And he has a blog called businessesgrow.com. I think that's the name of it, but I will put it in the chat. So it's Mark Schaefer. You can find him. I follow him everywhere. So he's mostly active on Facebook. So he wrote this article. He writes about content because that's his, marketing and stuff. That's his job. So he wrote this article in 2016 about content shock, where there was going to be a glut of content, so much content that us, the people that are online would be overwhelmed by it. And that was 2016. So now it's 2021. And yes, we are overwhelmed with content. That's one of the problems that business owners have with your, on your platform, on your accounts, and you're trying to, build a relationship. And like I said, you're not there to sell. You are there to sell, but you're not, boom, the first touch is a sell or a sale. You can try it. You might get a couple of nibbles, but we always say here that it's like building a relationship, whereas dating, fishing, gardening, all those analogies. So the thing is that there's so much content, and it's overwhelmed that we don't know what's going to hit, because and I always like to bring up fishing. You want to hit.
Yes.
You want to put the right bait on. Yeah, and you want to catch the right bait for the right fish. That's the analogy I can think of. So this content shop in 2016, I remember the talk about it, and everybody was telling him that he was wrong. Well, fast forward 2021, and he was right. And there were other people that wrote about this content shop. There's so much content, and now here we are. So what happens after there's so much overwhelm and so much stuff and content fatigue? You're tired. Fatigue means you're tired. You're tired. So this is the deal. So we got social media. You go on that. You got to see everybody's posts, and you want to see everybody's posts, the people that you follow.
Yeah.
If you have email, then you get all of these emails in your inbox, and you're like, oh, you just let them pile up or delete or whatever. Then we have podcasts, we have live streaming, we have video. And then don't forget the blog articles, your website, and everything. So all of that is after the content shot. We have the content fatigue. But as a business owner, you still have to make content that reaches your audience, that cuts through all of that and cuts through the content fatigue. You got to make it through that. So how do we do it? Well, today, we have influencers, and there's influencer marketing, and I talk about that, but we don't really follow that track because we're business owners. But we still have to cut through. You still have to break through and say, here I am, whatever. And it's not about going viral. So not talking about going viral. We're just talking about being seen by your target audience, the people you want to see your content. But you got to fight all of this other stuff. You've got to fight entertainment. There's politics, there's news, there's a lot of stuff going on in people's lives where they're like, okay, I got too much stuff going on. I can only pay attention to the things that are going to help me or make me a better person or make me feel better. And that's really important now, the feel better part.
Okay.
That's really important now because, we're still in the middle of this pandemic. We thought, hey, it's going to be over. It's been like almost a year and a half, but we're still in it. There's more variants and things coming on. But you can make, what I'm saying is you can cut through that fatigue, but you've got to be like the lighthouse in the storm, so to speak. What the lighthouse stands out, right? You see that. That's the beacon that's saying, hey, come on in safely to the dock, to the shore. So you got to be that. The fog is everybody else doing their content. So I'm saying this content fatigue is because there's a lot of content. People just post stuff just to post. And I've said this before about you just post a quote. And I'm like, why would you just post a quote? Because you feel like you have to post something. And this is the deal. You don't have to just post something because, well, it's Tuesday. I got to post something at 11:30. What do? I'll just make a quote. And then it's like when you don't get any engagement or any forward motion out of that, you're going to blame social media. You're going to blame the tool. And I said, you can't blame the tool. You have to have your messaging right. You have to know what to say. And it had to be said in an entertaining or a way that will stand out, like the lighthouse, like the beacon. Okay. I know that's hard. I say that all the time because I want you to I want to recognize that it is hard. It's hard for me. It's hard. I have a lot of stuff that I have to keep up with. A lot. A lot. But I have a plan. I have some tools that kind of help me with that. Of finding, the content, because I'm doing a lot of content for my clients. So and that's my thing. Is like I'm focusing on making content for them, and my content gets, put to the side.
I know it's.
I can do about that unless hire somebody or whatever, or find some more time or do this. But that's my issue. I'm just saying that. I know that you have that same issue if you're a business owner. If you're just starting, you don't know where to start. You don't know where to go. What kind of content do I put out so I can get a nibble? Forget being what's the Kardashians or any of those people that have hundreds of millions of followers. You're just trying to get a nibble on that hook. So I mean, and this is one of the things.
You know what, Terry? A nibble out of a couple of billion people ain't bad.
Right. That's the attitude you want to have. You can't have the whole, like Facebook has 2.8 probably billion users now. I know it's 2.3, but it grows every year. You can't get all of those people, not even with running the ads. That's why when you run a Facebook ad, it has to be targeted. You have to say, I don't want the 2.8 billion. I want 500,000 or a couple of thousand, or what. It depends on your goals. But so this content fatigue, I want you to be aware of it because it is a thing. Being tired. People are tired of the content, and really on social media, we've moved past the stage of, wow, you're on Twitter, wow, you got a Facebook page, wow, you got a TikTok, because everybody has those things now. It's the norm. Whereas, say 10 years ago or even 8 years ago, it wasn't the norm for you to be on social media talking about your business. It was all what you had for lunch, or, I'm taking a walk. You could still do those things.
Mm-hmm.
But the content fatigue has set into where it's like, that doesn't excite me. I'm just going to, scroll past. So we want them to stop on our content. Why? Because the stopping is attention, and then you got the platform to set it up to say, okay, I got your attention, come on. And I say, you're always a traffic cop, come on over here, and I want to show you this thing, or get on my email, or I've got something free for you, and get on the email list, or I've got something for you that's free. And then once you do that, you're building the breadcrumbs, the steps of keeping the connection between them and your business, because you want to keep that connection. You don't want that broken. So a part of that is the attention, the call to action, all the things I said before, all these parts of the ladder of, I want to get to, my goal is increase my revenue, increase my sales. So it's not a B. It's a B, C, D. It's different points in there. So that's why I want you to realize that there is a thing, content fatigue, when you're putting out stuff you think is great, but it's not, because you're not getting the engagement. You're not getting the response. They're not going forward with, with coaches. They want to have a sales call. They want to have a discovery call, or this or that. Well, you got to put a lot of effort into getting them to pick up the phone to call, because that's a big ask. Really, it is, versus somebody who's selling a product on Shopify, like t-shirts or shoes or whatever it is, because it's an instant thing. When you see, and speaking of clothing, like with Carolina, the California cover ups, when you see her cover up, there's one in the back, and she goes online with that, people go, what's that? I want that. Right? Because I love the color, I love the shape, I love the this, I love the that. So products are easier than someone who's a coach or needs to sell services. Because you need to talk one-on-one, and that's a hard thing to do. But so there's more work for you, but it's doable. So what I'm saying is that just be aware that of people's time, the way we are now, getting attention. Everybody's focused on, say, politics or health or something, or mental health or whatever. You got to figure out, how do I get through to those people? And what I'm saying is the content fatigue makes it harder. You thought it was hard before. It's really hard now. And I say that because people think if I post something, magic, they just buy. That doesn't work. It may have worked for you in the past. And like I said, 5-8 years ago, that may have worked, but everybody's online doing stuff. You gotta, you've got to compete with the TikTok dancers.
Yeah.
You got to compete with who's on the reels on Instagram, the people that are snapping with the this and the that. And it's hard. So I just want you to know that it is hard, but it's doable. So do we understand about the content?
I like the fact you said it's doable, because you keep telling
it is doable.
Hard.
It is.
It depends on what your medium is. If your medium is writing, maybe so. But my medium is video.
Yes. And let's talk about video for a second. Video, I recommend everybody go live. That was my thing. I say, you want to reach, go live or do video, record your video. But because that video can be broken up into so many pieces, like a puzzle, where you can share a piece on a reel, or you could put a little 15 seconds on TikTok, or you could put the whole thing on YouTube, or you could chop it up into 10 minutes, important sections on YouTube, or you could go to LinkedIn with those 5-minute videos that explain something and help. See what I'm saying? That you take that video. You can also have it transcribed. I think it's Rev, R-E-V. I'm not sure. Let me double check. There's Rev. Transcription. They will take your video, transcribe it into text, and even, some people will even create the article for you. So all you got to do is post it. You don't even have to write the thing. All you have to do is talk it like we're talking now. So that's what I always recommend. But video is the hardest for a lot of people because they don't want to come on camera, or they feel like they're not comfortable or confident in their knowledge. So there are I've seen people that help you with that. I think it's Live Streaming Pros. I think they have a whole thing where they talk you and help you with video.
BizChicks will help you with that too.
Yeah, BizChicks too. Yes. So there's you can find that, but you have to recognize that this is a need that I need to do. And if you have a roadblock, like with video or something that you can't get over with the confidence, or I don't know where to start, then you have to find the place to start. You have to find the information. And I'm seeing this a lot with people that they're like, it's like they're stuck in I'm stuck. And I want to move. I'm stuck in a boat or stuck on the sand, but I want to move, but I'm not going to do the work of moving. I mentioned this because we talked about OnlyFans on Friday. That it's a social media platform, adult content, and they are still complaining that, okay, I'm not going to make any money because OnlyFans is pushing us out. But you've done the hard part of building an audience. The hardest part is the building of the following. People that will follow you from A to B to C. So I've been online for the last week responding to people saying, don't cry, gather up your people, pack your bags, tell them where you're going, and go there. And not to Patreon or something. You build your own platform is really easy. It's really easy. I was so curious that I Googled something and boom, I went to a site that told me how to set up everything. And I'm like, it's right there. All you got to do is make the effort. Anything you want to know is online. Google is your friend.
But Terry, that is just a niche for somebody to fill a need, because that is not their wheelhouse.
Yes.
Like we say, you don't want to do your own plumbing if you're not a plumber.
Right, but see, with the OnlyFans people, the content creators over there, they've already, that's what they're doing. They've already done it. So I'm looking at it from a business perspective. Like, you have the customers that pay you. They're paying monthly. And they're doing it willingly. And it's not about the content. I'm not talking about the style of content.
No judgment.
Oh, yeah, no judgment. I'm talking about the platform, the system. When you have a system and a platform.
Now. We're talking business.
Yes. When you have a system and a platform, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. Now all you got to do is do the Pied Piper thing, play your flute and say, hey, we're going over here. And you tell them. It's August 24th. You got until October 1st. You should have been talking already.
And I think the way we word it is really important. If you come on every day and say, our address is changing.
Right.
We're moving on such and such a day. And our address is blah, 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 blah.
Yes. And this is the deal. Once you get the platform set up, and I'm not even to the OnlyFans creators, I know you might not know the technicals, but there are people out there that know the technicals. So you're making money. Here's some money. Build me a platform where I can do what I did on this platform. And plus, when you cut out OnlyFans, you're cutting out fees. Because OnlyFans was taking their fee. Yeah. So you got the payment processor fee, that's PayPal, Stripe, or whoever. They take a fee. OnlyFans, a platform, was taking a fee. So you can cut that out. And guess what? That means more money, more revenue in your pocket. So I always look at, whenever it is the OnlyFans or whatever, I always look at the business structure of it. Because I'm like, underneath, that's a business, because you're providing a service and you got people paying.
Yes.
Is that a business?
Sounds like business to me.
You're meeting a need, providing a service.
Right product for the right customer at the right time.
So people are like, OnlyFans. I was like, no. Pack your bags. Start building your new home. You know how when you outgrow your home, what do? You buy you buy a new one or you build a new one.
And it's an opportunity to upscale.
Right. And they definitely don't have content fatigue because they got their people paying. It makes me upset. It's just that I see the opportunity that they don't. So that's why I talk about it. And I said, well, if one person sees it and says, well, I can still do it. And it's not just OnlyFans, it's whatever business you decide to set up, because business is business. Whether we have social media, technology is going to change and evolve. And it will, whatever we're doing in the next 10 years, it's always going to be the business structure is the same. You need an audience. You need you need an audience. You need to attract them. You need to keep them happy. You need to direct them over to your stuff that you own, provide them value, solve their problems. Pay you. That you don't have to put a gun and hold them up. They will gladly give money.
No hostage taking.
No hostage taking, because you're meeting a need. You're solving a problem. You're getting rid of a pain point that they have. So they will give you the money because you're giving them something in return that they need or want. It's really simple. It's simple in concept, but in execution is where we fall apart. Okay. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect with content either. I don't know anybody that's perfect with it, but you have to be aware of, I need a system. I need a system. I need something. If I got to make content, I need something to write down, because I have a social media planner. This is a 1-page PDF. You print it out, you write on it every week, and there you go. Oh, I don't know what to do. And then if you're planning it ahead, you can make that content that's going to get through and reach the people that you want to reach. Now, remember, I said earlier, you don't want to reach everybody in the world. You're not going to make everybody happy. So you got to make your people happy, but you got to find them first. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody?
Makes sense.
Good. Because we're going to talk about that more in a few minutes over here, TerryJohnsonOnline.live. So you can go over there, 11:30. You go to the BizChick page. I put it over there. Just click on the post that's there. You have to click on the post to go into the video, or else I won't see your comments or your questions. So it's in the BizChick group. If you're in the BizChick group, it's there too. And if you can't join at 11:30, it's still there. It'll be there later. It just won't be live, but you could still put your comments, your questions, thoughts, opinions, because they're most welcome. I encourage that. There's a lot of people that do lives, or they get on and they talk on their brand page or their business page, and they don't want any comments. I'm like, I want the comments. Bring them on. That way we can talk and have a conversation.
Exactly.
You can see what's needed. You can see what's needed. So, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit more about content fatigue, because I think it's a thing we need to talk about, because we're evolving. We're evolving, especially online. Things are changing. And more people.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, because more people are leaving their, the job that they were unhappy with, and they're trying to do stuff online, but they're jumping in. But, you got to have a life preserver. You can't just jump in and then go, oh, it's not working. Oh, this is hard. And I'm like, okay, well, you got to have a plan. Where's your preserver?
The life preserver. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, guys, look, we're going to be joining Terry over there on Facebook in just a few minutes. She's going to be continuing this conversation. If you have questions, be prepared to put them in the chat so she can answer them. All of you guys watching on the replay, we just want to say, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. And you can follow this conversation on Terry Johnson's Facebook page. Or just go to TerryJohnsonOnline.live.
That's it. That's the easiest thing to do.
Of how to handle content fatigue. Thank you so much, Terry. We just want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, and all of you guys watching on the replay. Have a great day. And remember, go to the front of your own line. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.